Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. Not enough people know about and appreciate William Peyton Hubbard, who is like one of the most significant black figures in Canadian history, or at the very least, Ontarian history. And at the very least, should be a well-known and celebrated public figure in the city of Toronto. Now, William Peyton Hubbard was many things. He was an inventor, he was a capable baker, and he was also Toronto's first black politician. Now, again, sort of going with the trend here, he was the son of freed Virginians who had made their way to Canada. Now, they had settled in Toronto in 1840, and they were, very hardworking, and they managed to enroll young William into Toronto's model school, which is a very respected school at the time. By 1861, he had apparently completed an apprenticeship and was working as a baker, specializing in cake making, which, not historically significant, but just a fun little thing that I love that this man did. And this actually inspired him to lead it led to his first real major invention, which was a portable oven known as the Hubbard portable oven. Now, he designed this with the help of his brothers, and his brothers were the ones who later turned this into a successful business on his behalf. So later on, either to supplement this business or, they saw an opportunity to invest some of their profits into a new business, he starts a horse-drawn cab company. One day, this is a bit of a legendary tale. Some say it's true, but chances are it probably isn't. I mean, even Hubbard himself doesn't really say that this is true. But this is the, kind of Einstein-esque story. One winter day, he rescued a passenger from a cab that was nearly plunging into Toronto's Don River. And the passenger was none other than famous and wealthy newspaper magnate and one of the more influential and central fathers of Confederation and fathers of Canada, George Brown. Now, apparently, according to the story, Brown was super grateful, and he said, "Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to hire you as my personal driver." And boy, howdy, isn't that just so inspirational? And that's why it probably isn't true. So, what Hubbard did do, however, was that he did offer Brown his services as a cab driver, because apparently George Brown would often remark on how terrible a lot of cab services and drivers in Toronto were at the time. So Hubbard saw an opportunity to become his personal driver, and they actually developed a friendship out of this. At first he becomes a regular driver of Brown's, and as they talk and learn about each other, their history, their background, what motivates them, Hubbard was ultimately inspired by this and by Brown to actually seek public office, which again is, this is true, and it's 100%, or it should be 100% inspirational. You're talking to a man who would, be one of the founding fathers of Canada, and he's saying, you should get into politics, my friend. That's impressive. And so he eventually settled on running for municipal elections. He decided to seek office with the city of Toronto. And while he was at first unsuccessful, he was elected as an alderman in 1894. Now, this would be the beginning of a true legacy, because that first time would be the first of 14 consecutive times that William Peyton Hubbard won elections to serve the constituents and the people of Toronto. So let's actually dive into how he behaved and what should make him really special and memorable. Hubbard was quiet in private, but he was a forceful speaker in council, to the point that he actually earned the nickname Cicero of the Council, in honor of, the ancient and well-known Roman Cicero of the Roman Senate in the late Roman Republic. He was also really big on reform. He actually wanted to combat corruption by advocating for public control of Toronto's water supply and its transportation network. He also wanted to assist people living in poverty And that was, regardless of skin color, whether they were black, white, Chinese, or Jewish, which were some of the major groups in Toronto at the time. Now, he also helped make Toronto's Board of Control, which was very private at the time, he made it a publicly elected body. Again, this is part of his reforms. He also advocated in 1904 for the public ownership of electric power for all citizens of Toronto. And he also advocated for minority rights. He actually supported Chinese laundry operators, calling out racist treatment that they faced and discrimination. He also defended the Jewish community from street preachers who were saying, Jews bad, they run everything. And he also, of course, helped people in his own black community. Ultimately, though, he retired in 1913 to care for his ailing wife, who unfortunately didn't survive much longer. And I think she died in 1935 at the age of 93. But his story isn't over yet. So after he, retires, lots of people at this point want to know, hey, looking back, what do you feel is your legacy? And he never really talked too much about racism, but he did admit candidly in a letter to a friend that, I feel like I'm just a single model example for a race that is despised by all other people, and make of that what you will. He didn't speak too much on it, but I think the legacy that he should have, because Lord knows we don't hear about this man enough for Black history in Canada, the legacy that William Peyton Hubbard should have is a, capable and driven businessman who held deep core values, was a core reformer, pro-democracy, advocating for justice and equitable treatment for all people, whether they were white, Chinese, Jewish, black. The man is in so many ways the quintessential Canadian, and he's even tied to one of our founding fathers. And the fact that more of us don't know about him and celebrate his legacy is definitely what's bothering me today.